Hello, it's the latest Strongbow from sodatutorials.com, and today I want to talk about one part of managing your deck or your cards that you use in your battle layer. One feature that I never realized until, I don't know, 5 months into the game, and I only really realized it because I never had a need for it until I did in one event. My character's primarily an archer, so I had a certain set of armor, a certain set of weapons. I always had that. Never really had a need to change for it, except when I changed into my fancy clothes like this. But then at some point here, I decided to say, well, I want to work on some other tracks of offensiveness. So I decided to work on fire magic and become a fire mage. So if I look at this, you can see on my adventuring side that I have a whole host of ranged combat abilities in here, but I've also been working on my fire. So the problem is that the armor that I want to use and the weapons I want to hold are different from fire magic than it is for archery. For archery, I want a bow. For fire magic, I wanted a single sword and a wand. For archery, I wanted my chain armor. And for magic, I wanted my cotton or leather armor. So what I didn't really notice this until I was actually looking at the deck manager. I'm going to bring that up. And here's my archery deck. And I'm going to go ahead and look at it. And I've got all my glyphs, and I'm not going to go into this whole explanation of what this is. But one of the things I found out is that I can say, in there, I can say use my current equipment. It inventories everything that is on my character sheet and assigns it along with this deck. So when I equip the deck, not only do these cards become available to me, all the armor for it. And I'll show that here. Let me pop out of, I'll leave her down here. So I'm going to go into my deck. I'm going to go to my archery one. I'm going to, actually, I'll do it to my fire mage one. I'm going to show you it here. I've got different armor. I've got cotton epic cotton cloth armor on here. There's my wand, and there's my copper sword. So let's say if I equip that, not only do I get all my cards, but I get all my armor. And you look, here's all my fancy cotton epic cloth armor. There's my sword, and there's my wand, and if I and you can see it's all quick, and here's all my deck cards are coming up for my fire magic. So let's hop out of that. Let's say I'm going to switch out from this. I'm in a spot where I'm just not, the fire magic isn't working. I want to go to my archery stuff. I can go back, when I go back to my deck here and say I'm going to take my archery deck and I want to equip it. And I close that. Notice that my armor has changed. Now I've got all my bronze chain, and I've got my bow, and I've got my flaming backpack, still that always in there. Here's my slipshod shooter sash. That gives me 10% on some of my items. If I look at that, so I just kind of noticed that, saying, well, all right, so here's my deck for, I've got my deck for archery. I can auto-load all my armor with me, and I keep it all kind of stored away in my bag over here. I really don't like how it kind of puts it all right here. I actually like keeping it kind of away here. I'll stick this over there. So when I create one, I can create different loadouts of my thing. It got me thinking, I always want to actually have like a, I want to get into my fancy outfits. This is kind of by walking around, I go to town, do whatever else in there. So what I figured was I'm actually going to create a new deck, and maybe I'll just copy what's on here. Actually, I'm going to call it a new deck, custom deck. Going to town. So here it is. I've got my going to town. It's got empty slugs, so I'm not doing anything on there. So I'm going to go ahead and dress myself up like I would go into town. So I'm going to open this up and drag my character sheet over there. So I'm going to take all this stuff and take it off. Don't want to be too naked here for so long, so let me put my red dress back on. There. Take gloves off, take this off. Don't need my bow. Can't stand the cape with it. I do want my fairy wings. I do want my tiara. Fairy wings, get this back. Need to get myself some boots. I got my satin and lace ankle boots. Alright, I think that's it. So now that I've got that there, I can actually go bring up my deck manager again. I'm going to go to my going to town. I'm going to modify it. I'm going to tell it to use the current equipment. You see it's got me all dressed up here. That's great. So now, when I'm ready to go adventuring, I'm going to do my stuff as an archery. Let's see, I'm already equipped. Let's say I'm in my one here. Let's pretend. Voila. So I'm out adventuring. I'm my archery character there. Now I'm home. I'm ready to go to town. I can equip this deck, which is basically just a dead deck. And once I do that, it'll give me all my fancy clothes back. So, you know, dragging and change. People usually don't change their wardrobes because it's just a pain in the butt to come in here and drag things from here to there, here to here. But if you actually tie like kind of a regular non-combat outfit to a slug deck here, you can actually make it kind of quick and simple to do. So I'm here, I'm in town, then I'm ready to go back out. I'm going to go somewhere where I need to be a fire mage. So I'll equip that, and there I am. Voila. And then I come back home, and voila, I'm back in my normal clothes on there. So just a tip on one thing about the deck manager that's not really focused just on the actual cards and stuff, the deck itself, but really focus on the actual bit where you actually can modify and auto load out linked equipment. Everything from what you carry, wear, head, pieces back, waist, and all that stuff. So just a quick tidbit there. That was it. Just wanted to show you something I didn't find out till later in the game, and something just interesting about the deck management system and how you can leverage it to help manage your to manage your outfits for your non-combat stuff as well. So that was it. Hope that helped out. Comments are always appreciated, both good and bad. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the video. Once again, this is Elena Strongbow from SodaTutorials.com. Have a good evening.